Followed by the pledge from Councilman Corbin.
All right, let's bow our heads, please.
Are they on now?
Yeah.
And now, what since we only have 4 now, I may have to leave early. Are we still going to be able to conduct business if somebody else doesn't show up?
I think the only business, the only votes that you need to take will be on the property standards.
That's true. Okay. All right. So tomorrow I'll entertain a motion, or Chairman Shine will, to approve the minutes of the administrative conference on November 10th and the council meeting minutes on Tuesday, November 11th. Do we have any awards, recognition of distinguished or communications from the mayors?
Not at this time, Mr. Chairman, pending the mayor's arrival downstairs.
He's what?
Pending his arrival, I'm sure we'll have some comments once he comes down.
And then any from the city council members?
Mr. Chairman, do you want to take up your property standards? You want to take up those matters first?
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. Let's we can do that now. Do we need to make a motion to suspend the rules?
So move.
Second.
I'm sorry, we have to do a hand vote. Also, the system is down. Thank you.
Motion passed unanimously, 4-0.
If she's ready.
And if we could, Dorothy.
See if you can find Dorothy.
Kind of drop this on Dorothy.
Maybe a surprise to her.
Dorothy?
Mr. Chairman, while you're waiting, Mr. Sweeney says that he may have to leave early, but there are 2 items on the agenda, 156, which is the PUD ordinance, and the 160, which is the zoning PUD ordinance. And there may be a couple of others, but if there are any questions or anything, he will come down. He's in a meeting upstairs, but he'll come down and address those if there's any need for that.
If there's no objection, I think maybe we could ask him to come down right after Dorothy, and that'd be great.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have 4 cases today, and the first case is in Councilman Shine's area. It's 143 Right Way. The owner is present. What I want to do,
Oh, no, no, no.
I want to bring your attention to the house as it looked on October the 27th. There was reconstruction going on, but as you can see, there's still a lot that is left to be done. See what's going on with the water connection?
Yeah.
Wait to see. Okay. That was October the 27th. Now I would like to bring your attention to what the house looks like today.
Looks good.
That's
Looking better.
It,
Porch gotta be done.
there's
nothing.
not much change from October the 27th.
Nothing there.
The difference in this is that now they've moved someone in the house
What?
Someone's living there?
with it like that. Yes, sir. Thank you, thank you. The owner is present. And as you can see,
That's where we need to.
there's someone living in it. Water has been connected, but it has not been totally completed. And what we are prepared to do today also, because someone has moved into it, is to issue him a court citation. But right now, because someone has moved in it and nothing has occurred, what little work has been done, he should not have moved anyone in this house with this. So where we are today is that we will be issuing a court citation to Mr. Joseph,
Property isn't good. Okay.
if you would like to speak to the council.
Yes, I would. Microphone, please.
Right here, sir.
Hey.
Identify yourself, please.
My name is Joseph Nelson. I'm the owner of this property. Okay, now, she's right, but she ain't been in the inside. We blowed the inside, I've been blowing the inside, I got the bathroom just about done. I'm working on the kitchen, but what I had to do was get the electric and the water on in order to keep going. And I was having some problems. I had to get an electrician out there. He come in there, he charged me to rewire the house to get a permit because they won't turn it on unless SWEPCO get a sticker on there. So I had to go through the city, I had to hire an electrician. Okay, I got that done. Then I turned around, I had to get a plumber. That sewer line it had that old clay, and the roots and stuff was in there. I had to dig all that up. All that had to be redone, put to the end of the road. I'm fighting, and I'm getting it done, y'all. I really am. You gotta go in the inside. If you look in the inside, you'll see, now the kitchen, I'm working on the kitchen. But I had to do that to tell them somebody was living there to get the stuff on, because I was having trouble with them coming out there. They just wouldn't act right. So I told them, hey, my son got a room in there, and I got that hot water tank. We finna hook up the hot water tank. But my son got a room in there to stop people from stealing. I mean, God dog, man, they break in the house, they took some of the sheetrock, some of my material out of there, so my boy got a room in there to kind of watch the place. You see where I'm coming from? Mm-hmm. I'm working on the place, I really am. Okay, now my next problem is, when I got the place, I was having trouble with the city code and all that. I come in there, I cut the grass, I pile a bunch of stuff up. I had to get a dumpster to get in the inside of the house, because the inside of the house had the people stuff, whoever lived in there. It was a lot of trash and stuff in there. I had to deal with that issue. Okay, now I admit that I didn't have everything clean on the outside, but I had cut the grass, I had piled up some bushes, about from right up to about round in this circle part. The city come out there, they picked up the trash that I had piled up to the corner of the road, and they cut some bushes down that was right around the fence line. They charged me $900 and something for that. I got a bill for $900, man. I mean, I understand I pay something for you coming out there and kind of cutting the bushes down, but you're gonna charge me $900 and something to cut the bushes down and pick up a pile of trash that I had in the front of y'all? I mean, come on now, let's be frank. $900?
Well, part of that is, I think, the processing fee and the fact that they had to do it. I mean, you know, obviously, if you had paid somebody to do it at the beginning, you wouldn't have spent $900.
Yeah, but see, I had just bought the house. I had just went through the process. If I knew all of this was going on when I bought the house, see, the owner didn't tell me the deal he was having with the house when I bought the house. But I bought the house for my son.
So it was already had some...
Yeah, it was already going through a process, but I didn't know. So I went on and bought the house because I got a good price on the old house, and I went on and bought it because my son needed a house. We're working on the house. The house coming to life. It's going to be a nice house when we get through with it because I got some more work to do on it. But I got the water, the electric on. Now I got to get a plumber to do the gas lines. I got to get all the gas lines done My electrician coming back out, I gotta pull another permit for him, cause I got a nice little hot water tank I'm gonna hook up in the kitchen. So I gotta redo the kitchen floor. I'm gonna pull the kitchen floor out. I'm working on the house, man. The house, if y'all give me a little more, just keep working with me, I'm gonna get this house where you can live in.
Working on the house with you, or are you doing it all by yourself?
I'm doing it by myself, plus I work for the city. So I'm working 8 hours, and then I do a little side work, and then I gotta work on that house at the same time.
What do you do for the city?
Sewer and drainage. I work on the sewer and drainage department up in there.
Hey, working for the city, you should have had a little more insight about
Oh, man, I didn't know nothing
checking the
about
house out before you bought it.
Yeah, I should have, but that's my part. But I got a good deal on the old house, and when I walked through the house, I could see it needed some work on it, but the house was savable. It's savable. I got it to where it needs to be, but I got a little bit more work to do to
Well,
it.
here's the thing, property standards is more interested right now in you doing the outside. You can do the
Okay,
inside
okay.
later.
Okay.
So,
But I dropped back in the inside to do the work in the inside, but I should have continued. I got the siding and stuff for the house. I need to put it on. I got one more beam to put up under the house. And that's it. All the outside be done, and I close it up. I got 2 more windows I got to buy for this side over here on the other side. And
what kind of timeline are you looking at?
if you give me another 30 days, I can have all the outside done. I just work hard on the outside and get the outside done. In about 30 more days, I can get all the outside done.
Well, I'll move for give him an additional 30 days.
And I'll second that motion. My only concern is someone being in there. What's the nature of that then?
Oh, he just got a room in there to stop people from stealing, but the bathroom is functionable. The bathroom, his bedroom, the living room, all that's been painted and blowed. I got carpet down in the living room, you know.
A Rottweiler would be cheaper.
What's the nature of that violation? Do that person has to come out of there under the circumstances? They can't.
He don't live in there, he just, at nighttime, he guarding the house, you know, make sure nobody won't steal nothing. He park his car there sometime he in there, sometime he ain't. But it's, you know, and I keep the lights on. It's something to let somebody know somebody there, because I've been stealing from him, man.
So he's not living there?
No, he's not really living there.
The occupancy of the house actually changes the violation. If someone is living in the house, then what has to happen, we have to issue a citation, because this house is written up for demolition. And what we were looking at, what was supposed to have been accomplished is the outside. Everything on the outside. Once that's done, everything, the violation is closed. He then can actually rehab the inside, and it would be closed. As it stands now, water on, someone's living in it, we cannot proceed with demolition. What I was going to recommend was that it be remanded back to property standards and we issue a court citation. However, if you all want to give him 30 more days to do the outside, I don't have an objection, but if not, as I said, my recommendation would be to remand it back to property standards for us to issue a court citation. So,
I'm okay with that.
however you wish to make your decision on this.
So the motion right now is for 30 days.
You know, with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, I mean, could we give him 60?
Well, I mean, he could come back in 30 and we can see progress, and then, you
Yeah,
know,
let's
then we
come back in
progress.
30 and let us see some progress based on
I have
that.
it closed up. I
Yeah,
closed it up. I
and we
got
see some progress beyond what's
It'll make you
here.
feel better too to get it done.
Yes,
You don't have
ma'am,
to worry
get it
about
done.
coming back.
I didn't know, I just thought, y'all told me work on it, so I'm working on it, so I went in the inside.
Keep in mind, the primary thing we're concerned
So
about is
y'all
what's on
really
the
concerned about is
outside.
the outside?
Yeah.
Well,
Focus
from
on
now,
the
but,
outside.
you know, I stopped back to do the plumbing and the electrical come in, and then I was running that generator at night, and those elderly people live around there, they ain't going for that. So they come outside, hey, you gonna have to shut this down. So that was another problem. So I had to get the electric on.
The inspector is here for this case, and what we want to do is meet with him and go over all of the conditions that was sent to him from the beginning for him to get this house and bring it back up
You
to
can be
standard.
clear about what will remain.
So that so that he will understand, because that was in the first notice that he received, so that he can comply for everything that's on the outside, along with all of this trash and debris that's out there, because Public Works is not going to pick up any building materials. That is going to have to be removed yourself. But 30 days, I have no problem with that.
Okay, that's the motion as it's
I have a
presented.
question, so,
Any more discussion?
so after 30 days, if he show us improvements beyond this structure, then there's a possibility we could give him another 30 days.
It's just like it is today, yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That's decent.
Now, is this 30 days for him to have complete compliance on the outside?
Size.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, December meeting. This is second meeting in December.
That's what I'm not sure of, it's the
I'm sorry, I have
Christmas
a
meeting.
2015, I believe it's the 22nd or the 23rd of December.
Christmas is the 25th. Do we meet on Friday? I mean, on
We
Friday?
meet December 19th, Friday the
19th.
19th.
That's my birthday.
Friday?
That's right. Whose birthday?
That's my birthday.
Is your
Happy
birthday?
birthday. You and your twins' birthday,
Yeah.
not yours by yourself.
No, never.
We do need to do a
Never had a solo birthday.
Handbook.
Need a handbook.
Oh, I thought, I saw some of them go up there. I thought we were waiting on one more.
Look, B, right there.
Looks like we got
Doesn't tell me
5.
yea or nay, it just tells me that they
Yeah,
voted.
5 votes.
So, okay.
Yeah.
There are no names up there. There are no names, doesn't tell me what they voted.
Did you get the vote
Are
down
these
here?
all
But it's
nays?
a 5, it's a unanimous.
Thank you.
If somebody votes no, then you'll ask who voted no.
I won't know if somebody.
All right,
voted
you
no.
got 30
As long as
days
you tell me
and just get with
that
Dorothy
they
so we
cast
can
a
make sure you
vote.
understand what you need to do to get it cleared up.
Yeah.
Our next case is going to be
In your area.
1220 North Hearn.
Okay,
As
that's
you can see the pictures,
funeral home.
this is a part of what is still standing. Front part was demolished.
And we gave her how many days? 10 days on that?
We gave her 10 days on this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this is what remains.
And now she needs to board up, well, anyway.
As of today, when we checked, there was someone out there trying to secure the structure. We will monitor it as we move forward. This is the way it looks now. So they just began, but
What's your recommendation?
our recommendation is that this property needs to be secured.
We gave her 90 days. How did we do that?
We gave them, the last order on this was for them to have it demolished in 10 days, and it was the rehab was to begin within 90 to 120 days. There was no mention about securing in this last order. As you can see, the way that property look now, we need to get this secured in 10 days. So then, by the next council meeting, this structure should be secured. It is a safety hazard, as you can see.
And that would probably give us approximately 30 days from when we actually set the schedule for demolition, right? That would probably give us about 30 days of the 120 for construction, leaving her about approximately 100 days left to actually reconstruct that, the remaining.
The order was to begin it within 90 days from the last, and as I said, it had no mention of securing. That's what I'm asking for now.
Secure
that
it.
this property be
Secure.
totally secured.
Okay, I move to give her 30 days to secure the property, since
was
she's
it-
began the process.
I know I wrote the letter, but I don't remember. Was she supposed to be back here today?
Yes, sir.
Was she notified, or when we
We
spoke?
sent the letter, I just wasn't sure how it was worded.
Okay. Well, I actually spoke with her, so I don't know that she knew she was supposed to be here today. I mean, I had knowledge of the fact that she had done the demolition, but I didn't have any knowledge of the, that they were in the process of securing the property.
I think we would feel more comfortable if maybe we postponed it until Monday and see if we can get in touch with them.
Okay, I moved to postpone it till Monday.
You doing what to it, sir?
Huh?
The letter says, here it is right here, the letter says November 21st.
She's supposed to be back here?
What's that?
If you click on that letter, it'll show you that she's been notified to be here today, November 21st.
And I think too, I might have made her feel comfortable with the fact that I was satisfied that we had met the 10-day time frame for demolition. But, you know, I'm gonna go ahead, Art, as you suggested, to postpone until Monday and allow me to contact her again.
I'll second the motion.
So we're going to postpone the decision until Monday?
Until Monday.
Can we get a hand vote, please? Thank you.
I'm acting like I'm pushing a button. So it's unanimous.
Our next case is 305 Meadowbrook.
All in this area.
305 Meadowbrook is in Councilman Oliver Jenkins' area. The owner was here on last week. He was to return on today. He was to come by my office and give me a proposal for the rehab and show that he had paid for a percentage down. I did receive a proposal today. The proposal is for only a portion of the house to remove 14 squares of roofing and decking for a cost of $38.50. He did pay him $100. I spoke to the M.L. Watson, Mr. Watson, regarding what he was to do. He said that he was only to do the back portion of it, and that was for the roofing. There was nothing to be done about the rotten wood. Nothing was to be done about the eaves or anything. And as you can see, this is the way this is all in the backyard. You can see the rotted wood. You can see the holes in the roof right there, the eaves. As you can see there, there's holes there. There's holes in the roof on the north side, the east side, and the west side. And it's been like that for a while, so there is water that's going into the inside of the house. If you see, he's put some 2x4s there. There was a tarp that went through.
It's a different shade. It's looking nice there.
Now, what he did not give me a proposal of what was requested of this council. This is all he gave me.
So you got a proposal, but it wasn't what we asked for.
No, it was not what we asked for.
It's like a small portion of what we asked for, huh?
Dorothy and Council, I know this is in Councilman Oliver Jenkins' area. Since we are going to take up another case on Monday, I would ask that before we talk our way through this, that we just hold it off till Monday.
Second.
Well, before we vote, we're gonna need a hand vote anyway. But before we do that, can I ask quickly, what is the Property Standards Board recommending? What action, just so we're prepared for a decision on Monday, what is our next course of action?
Okay. Councilman Jenkins had asked him to make sure he brought in the proposal. And if it wasn't done, then he was going to recommend demolition. And as I spoke to Mr. Davis and the contractor, him actually remodeling the entire house and removing everything at one time, that is not his intention. So, based on that, then my recommendation would be the same as Mr. Jenkins. However, again, I do agree with you that we should wait until he comes back on Monday. As I said, Mr. Davis has not complied with the council's request.
I'd like to ask him a question, if I may. How long have these holes been in the roof of the house?
I don't know, I don't live there.
You own the home, though?
Yes.
And you live directly behind it?
No, I live 5 blocks away.
5 blocks away? You don't ever go inside and look at what it looks like inside?
Yeah, but that's on the back side. That's not the living area. That's a breezeway, a double garage, and a storage room in the back here. The living, it's like a T, shaped like a T. The living area is across the front of the house, and out the back is where the double garage and a breezeway and the storage rooms out the back. And that's where this is, where limbs have fallen down and torn the shingles off and caused the roof to leak and rot the boards out. But I've got, like I say, over 24 bids, and this one's not the lowest and it's not the highest, but he was highly recommended to me by the contractor at Lowe's, and he's a reputable contractor, and he is going to redo the whole decking on the back side. He's going to do the damaged part. Everything that's damaged in the roof, he's going to do.
So the damage on the roof is not internal to the house?
No.
Just external?
I mean, that's not even the house back there.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, that's all I have for. I wanted to, should we not, or have you, or can we, is it permissible to look inside the house to see what kind of shape the inside of the house looks like?
Only if he allows us.
Only if he allows. Would you allow
we
that to be done? I'm curious to know what the inside of it looks like. I mean,
Well, the inside's okay. I mean, what are you looking for?
well, I'm looking for mold and rat infestation, just a whole lot of things.
Well, now, the squirrels have gotten inside the house. I've set some traps for them.
Councilman Webb, we do have neighbors who live, 2 neighbors that live directly next door to this house, and they are here and prepared to speak, if you would like to hear them.
Well, we'll wait that till Monday for all
Okay.
that, you know.
All
when we
right.
go into.
I would just like to, I mean, just so we don't have to go through everything over on Monday, we got some people here now.
Well, if they're here, we ought to allow them to come up and
I mean,
talk, really. so.
Are y'all all planning on being back Monday anyway, or, I mean, because I don't mind hearing a little bit about it now. But, I mean, I guess just looking at this, one of the things that I guess is just an immediate question to me is, I mean, I do think we were pretty clear about what we were asking for last week, and this is a proposal to do 14 square feet of roofing, and then there's another half of the proposal that's scratched out. So,
That's not, that part of the house isn't damaged, but that roof is good. That part is good.
okay, well,
Yes, no.
well, it doesn't
That was
sound
not-
like, it doesn't sound like this though is, I mean, we're
Expert
not,
up here.
this isn't even,
I've seen it, it's not good.
That was not according to, I spoke to
This isn't even
the
addressing, like,
contractor who gave him that,
uh-huh.
and he was wanting to do everything, and he told him that's all he wanted. So that other part,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, this doesn't even address
was just
the
that
rotting
small
wood
part,
and all
and that
that
was-
stuff around it. I mean, there's
It's broken down in 2 parts, the damaged part and the not damaged part.
Why don't we get him to have the contractor rewrite it without scratch outs, exactly everything he's gonna do in detail?
Because that was,
That's all he's gonna do.
yeah, because that was the part that he said that, the contractor said he told him he didn't want him to do that. So that's why it was scratched
I
out.
just wanted the damaged part fixed. I didn't want the part that wasn't damaged fixed.
But that doesn't fix the rotted wood or the,
Fixes everything. Oh, you talking about the eaves?
yeah.
Okay. I found a carpenter, works by the hour. He's done work for 2 friends of mine, and I've seen the kind of work he does. He does excellent work, and it would be to my benefit to get him to do that work, because it would save me a lot of money by getting him to do that.
Well, that needs to be part of your proposal then. I mean, your plan that we asked for was a plan to get into compliance with
Well,
property
he didn't-
standards.
He works by the hour.
So do these people, but they still give you a proposal on a bid sheet and you know what you have. So, I mean, that's part of the plan we asked for.
He just said he works by the hour, and he couldn't give me a definite price.
Okay.
Councilman Everson.
Let me say this. Please remember that we've been trying to get him to comply for the last 18 years in this house. So I want you to remember that as you move forward in making a decision.
Councilman Corbin?
Nothing has not been done, so
Mr. Davis, I certainly don't have any intention of going through this whole scenario again today and then again Monday, because we discussed it at length 2 weeks ago. And you were given very definite instructions of what needed to be done to make this move forward.
Well,
We're not-
I thought that
I'm
was
not
a-
finished yet. We're not going to vote on it until Monday, when Councilman Oliver Jenkins is back as well. The good news for you in that is you have from the time you walk out this door until 3 o'clock Monday to take care of the business at hand, to get something done. You don't get to pick and choose, I only want to fix part of it, because in your mind, that's not an important part of the house. You heard the case right before you. Property standards issues mean the whole exterior of the house needs to be fixed. So what you need to do is go out and get an estimate and prove your good faith, or I believe the council's not going to vote your way.
Okay, do I need to replace the part that's not damaged?
You and Ms. Farnell can hash this out, but I believe from the pictures I've seen, you're going to be replacing a whole roof and a lot of rotten wood.
Well, yeah, well, okay, now, on the rotten wood part, where the carpenter's gonna do that by the hour, how do I get a proposal on that?
Why haven't you already gotten the work started in the past 2 weeks? You've made no good faith effort to the neighbors or to this council.
I've gotten over 24 bids on this.
That's an awful lot of bids.
That's a lot of bids, but it's no shingles, wood, or nails. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for progress. So talk to Ms. Farnell, be sure you understand what you need to do, and we'll see you Monday.
Okay.
All right, do we need to, I think we need to vote to,
Move to Monday?
move to Monday, and the system is working again now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's working
These-
now. Okay,
It's working.
It is? Okay.
all right.
Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see the vote.
And that's 5 yes.
5-2.
All right, next case, Dorothy?
the next case is in Councilman Shine's area, 646 West 74th Street. Mr. Mohammed, is he here? This is a structure that has been rehabbed somewhat. He's done everything on the outside, but what we have here now is
In need of a
a
dumpster.
care premise. Yes, sir, as you can see. What I would ask is for this case to be closed, remanded back to property standards, and we will be issuing a care premise for this to be done.
Make that motion.
Second.
Those are our cases for today.
Ms. McCullough, thank you.
And that's a 5-0 vote.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dorothy. And I know the mayor's joined us since the beginning, and I think we were going to take up, when he gets in here, Mr. Sweeney had some commitment later, so he was going to come talk to us next. I think we're going a little out of order.
He's
but-
right here.
Oh, here he is. But after that, if y'all have any comments or anything that you wanted to make.
Communications? In the interest of it being Friday afternoon?
I like that. Mr. Sweeney,
That's a
I
good
think
communication.
we're ready for you. Great timing.
Mostly, I just wanted to, again, this is Mark Sweeney, the Executive Director of the MPC. I wanted to make myself available for any questions you might have dealing with the New Quest rezoning request for the PUD, as well as for any other questions you might have as a follow-up to other cases or through the creation of the new ordinance that is also that you've already been introduced to at your last session. So I kind of just wanted to make certain if you do, I'm here at your bidding call.
What are the numbers on that?
156 is the PUD ordinance, and 160 is the PUD zoning ordinance. The PUD zoning ordinance is on introduction, but neither one can be adopted until the next meeting because of we weren't 2 weeks between times that the ordinance was introduced.
Got it.
And Art and I had a discussion. I just wanted to make certain that the ordinance creating the PUD came first before you heard the New Quest case and made the decision, because that's the order in which it should
So
go.
can you run through them for us real quick? Just give us a overview.
Let's start with the ordinance. The ordinance is to create,
That's 156.
it's 156. The ordinance is an opportunity here for you to allow for plan unit development zoning in all of the established base zoning districts that you have on the books today. It gives you greater flexibility to address the issues that developers may have.
It just allows us to do PUDs in the residential districts and wherever.
Yes.
Well, how do we approve them now?
Right now, as it stands, the ordinance allows for plan unit development residential.
Okay.
And there's a limited amount of commercial development that's allowed, but it's under a very restrictive measure. And so therefore, it appeared to me, and in my discussions with the MPC members, that it was appropriate, as other cities in Louisiana as well as across the country have done, is to allow plan unit development zoning in other districts besides just residential. This gives you the flexibility to negotiate with a developer and ask for certain things in terms of design, aesthetics. In return, we can offer them variations in certain requirements as long as we get a higher quality product and be able to address the issues that will make it a good project for the region. So that's one of the reasons why this gives you the flexibility and the ability to make decisions related to some things you haven't before that have been involved primarily with the Zoning Board of Adjustment. So this means that using this ordinance, you don't have to go but just to the MPC and then to the City Council for approval. It expedites the process by which development can be approved in the city of Shreveport.
Great. I think it sounds wonderful. But is everybody familiar with the PUD? Everybody kind of understand what they're saying there?
Maybe the audience needs to know.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you? I mean, I know what it is. But why don't
Well,
you?
plan unit development zoning
pro.
is an opportunity to, under straight zoning, which is your base zoning, you can't really negotiate a project too much. It's pretty much cut and
For
dry.
instance, like a mixed-use
Right.
project, like something like Providence or something.
And so with under PUD, you open the door legally to be able to negotiate with the developer. And if you want something done in terms of a higher quality design or address a particular important issue, you have the freedom to do that under the PUD, because the PUD carries what we refer to as a preliminary site plan. So you're not only approving the zoning, you're approving the preliminary site plan. That stays with the property. And in reality, the developer is held to those parameters of that site plan, and a specific ordinance is written up to follow that property that lays out all of the stipulations of what you expect from him. And in return, you're offering him the ability, maybe he needs a little bit less parking, or he needs a certain number of hours of operation, or even alcohol sales. You're in a position to negotiate with him on all of those details between the MPC's recommendation and your final approval. This is, I think, I've said this to you before, this will go further than anything else I've brought before you before that has to do with the ability to implement the master plan. Because in the master plan, there's so many things that y'all have asked for and want to see done in Shreveport. And utilizing the PUD gives you the ability to begin to see those things happen. And a lot of developments probably would be a better quality for us if we had that option, and that's what we're striving for. And New Quest is your first project, which is coming up behind this. Will be the first one to utilize that new ordinance. It allowed me and my staff to work with them to improve that site plan to make it better, which is the case that you'll be considering. It allowed us to negotiate back and forth things that was of concern to them, things that we needed, transportation-related issues. We were able to address all of those, and at the same time come up with a product we think that the city will be very proud of. So that's going to be kind of I refer to them as my first case to be handled under this, or a kind of a test model. Mm-hmm. But the reality is they were very exuberant about that idea because they've done this in other cities. We're used to this kind of a setup, and we're very excited that it would help them accomplish their goals, at the same time accomplishing the goals of the city council to ensure quality development in the city.
And now, one of the only things I would say, and that's not a concern about passage of this, I mean, I think this is good legislation, but one of the things I would say, and I'm sure y'all already have done this, I know that the Camiros was in town, or
yes,
has been in town recently.
Yes, sir.
And obviously, once this is adopted, they need to consider that into how that impacts what they're doing now.
And in reality, they already had put in a plan unit development just similar to what we were doing, except that I had to customize this because I'm kind of doing what I call a patchwork into an existing ordinance. And I've already communicated to them that many of these same elements need to be in the UDC. They totally understand what direction we're going.
Great, good. Just want to make sure we're matching
sure.
up and talking apples to apples.
And that emphasizes what I've said to you before. You're likely to see me several times before the UDC is approved, and we're hoping that'll be approved this time next year, keeping our fingers crossed. But in that interim, I'm not going to wait till the UDC is approved. I'll go ahead and bring patchwork changes that will help the city so that all of those things will be in place even before the UDC is
prepare us for implementation.
That's right. So
did you want to go through now, unless does anybody have additional questions on that part of it? Or now could you go through the 161, is that it?
60.
60, yeah.
The New Quest project is, this is on a 47-acre plus site that that's where the Camp 4 being campgrounds for YMCA is located. Has a lot of personal and historical value to a lot of people because a lot of folks as kids, they went through that camp and considered it kind of a great plus and raising up as they grew up as kids as a place to go and to recreate. And so YMCA has come forward wanting to develop this site. They have found working with New Quest, they're part of this as a major grocery store would be a part of this plan, along with restaurants, and as well as now possibly some office uses as well. It's definitely a good example of mixed use. The only thing that's missing is residential, but that's okay because this site, even though it is not, it's kind of out on the edge a little bit, but it serves a market that's important out there. That's an area that needs services that they don't have now. And the opportunity here was to create something that would be a model for shopping centers going forward in Shreveport. And one of the things that was the thing that me and my staff emphasized is that we were looking for something that would make a difference. And if you look at the site, their preliminary site plan, They have some very interesting, unique features. They have a pond area with a kind of a boardwalk design, and they're going to have a lot of restaurants with outdoor seating, kind of as a focal point as you enter into the development. They're going to provide extensive amount of landscaping. One of the things that we really emphasize with them is to make it more pedestrian friendly. That's one of the things we asked for. We got them to put in more sidewalks, antique lighting, kind of a theme concept that would go through the site. We asked, of course, and one of the things they were very willing to do was to have a consistent architectural theme throughout the whole development. We did also then ask them to kind of move some things around, try to save as many trees as possible. I mean, I don't have a tree ordinance on the books right now, but I said, guys, I said, you know, give me as many trees as you can save, because that's a beautiful site, very wooded, a lot of topography, and I said, where possible, where feasible, give me some trees to save into your landscaping plan. And they have done that, which we really appreciate that, because that's an effort on their part. They've asked for some variations. They are asking for alcohol sales. They are asking for certain hours of operation, increasing the height of some buildings. But in exchange for those requests, we are allowing them, because of the improved design and quality, we feel like it's a fair trade. When you look at that report, you're going to see a listing of what they want to vary, and then there's a listing of what they are providing in terms of aesthetics. And so that both of those documents will go into the ordinance as part of this property. So they cannot develop this property without adhering to those requirements, and they're fully aware of that. I can't reveal who it is that's going to be coming down there. I'm not supposed to do that, but it's going to be a major addition to the community and a great opportunity for food service-wise to improve the market here in terms of what our options are. So I think if you look at it again, this is a genuine effort to do something that will service an area of the community that has not been provided service, and will tie in a way that whenever the next developer comes down the block, I can say, gentlemen, this is what I want you to use as a model. Not that the model can't be improved even further, because there's things I would have done differently, but coming to the table, you know, you give a little, you take a little, and that's kind of where we got. And that's where I try to work with the developers in that way, is that we ask for certain things. I'm not afraid to ask for things. I always say, if you don't ask, you don't get it. And I may not get everything I want, but if I get, 8 out of 10 things I'm asking for, I feel like I've won. And I feel like the city has won. And that's kind of where we're at here, in the sense that this project kind of embodies that, as your first example of a planned unit development that is not a residential planned unit development.
That sounds great. Mike, I know you've worked on a lot. You want to make any comments right now? Or?
Just, I certainly agree with everything that Mr. Sweeney said, and this has been a project that's been going on for some time now, and has had many different forms, but I do believe this is going to be a top-notch development for our city, for the folks that drive down Erie Drive and say, well, all I see are a bunch of buildings and concrete and all that. This is going to be nothing like that, nothing like we've ever seen in Shreveport, and I think it will be the future of developments in Shreveport.
I think it does sound like the detail and the time that's been put into this, and I know there has been a considerable amount, is resulting in something that does show progress, shows the impact of our master plan, shows the potential of future development, and is going to be beneficial to the developers too. Because I think that these, the attention to that detail is going to pay off in people's likelihood to go utilize that facility. So,
and if you look at the backup of this, you'll see exactly what Mr. Sweeney talked about earlier. You'll see that the board approved it unanimously with a number of stipulations, and that's that give and take from the developer. I think that's important that process went through, and again, I just think it's going to be a great development.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Do you have any other questions?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate
Vice
it.
Chairman, before you leave, Mark, and obviously I don't want to end up putting the cart before the horse, because the council obviously still has to vote on this come December 9th. But despite that fact, I want to stop and express great appreciation to Mark and to Stephen and to all of the members of the MPC staff for the work that they have put forward in helping to get us to this point, along with the members of the MPC itself, because the PUD concept is one that goes back to my tenure on the city council. I remember, I believe it was Hidden Trace was one of the developments out on Norris Ferry that it was used from a residential standpoint. I had no appreciation for the fact until we found ourselves in the midst of this effort that we did not have a parallel mechanism available for commercial efforts. And as council has mentioned, without question, this is a paradigm shifting set of circumstances for the city of Shreveport, and for those folks who happen to be down on Shreveport and believe that there's limited interest. The fact that Whole Foods have shown up and this particular group, whose name, as you just said, shall go unmentioned, but it certainly, without question, represents very much an upscale, high-end investment into the city of Shreveport that brings with it a brand new state-of-the-art YMCA that will ultimately end up being a tremendous asset to the community as a whole. The entirety of the development will be something that will be pleasing to the aesthetics of the city, that region in particular. And so I want to express appreciation for all of what's been done to get us to this point. I also need to obviously, we have Gary Lash, who's here, Mr. Corbin, your constituent, waiting with bated breath, sitting on the edge of his seat. I'm sure counting off the days till December 9th. But I have to commend Gary for reaching out and making this connection and advancing this vision and helping to make it possible. And there's also another aspect of this that is a part of this effort that involves action that was taken by this council that expands the duties and responsibilities of our industrial development board, which has allowed them to be a partner in helping to facilitate the standing up of this effort. And so you've got multiple things that are all precedent setting for the city of Shreveport coming together at one time to ultimately result in something that's going to be a tremendous effort, but also sets a template that can be used for similar efforts in the city going forward. So, and Councilman Corbin, I think I mentioned at the last meeting, I thank you again. Maybe I was a little bit presumptuous in assuming that you were taking on the sponsorship of this effort, but for all of you on the council who have been willing to take this effort on and help to advance it, thank you. And hopefully Gary will be very happy after the vote come December 9th, and the New Quest people in particular. There'll be a donut eating exhibition that will take place up in the large conference room that won't involve me in the event that there ends up being a successful vote for passage of this effort as well. So with that, thank you, and thank you all.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
And if we could, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think we probably all agree with your comments there. This is exciting. If we could, I think it's appropriate to go back into the regular agenda now. Do we need a motion to do that?
So move.
Okay. And we are now, where are we on the regular agenda? Our reports. Yeah. So I guess tomorrow we'll have property standards report, revenue collection report. Monday, not tomorrow. Yeah, Monday. But at the next time we meet, we will have.
I saw the expression on Mr. Jenkins' face, right?
We're not calling you in on Saturday.
Actually, it'll be 3 Mondays.
So, yeah, property standards, revenue collection, and do we have a surety bond forfeiture?
We actually do those,
Or is that
we'll
the
do
next-
those the first meeting in December.
So our second
Revenue
one
and-
is, this is
and
just master
surety.
plan committee report.
Exactly.
Got it. All right, and then we don't have a public hearing. And I apologize, but at this point, I have to leave. I had another appointment this afternoon when we rescheduled this, and then rescheduled it again and rescheduled it back. In the interim, I had made another commitment along with Shelley, so she's just left, and I need to head out behind. So if I could, I guess I'll turn it over to Mike to take over. And thank you very much.
Councilman Anderson. Would you also let them know I asked to be excused?
And Rose, I know will be leaving shortly thereafter. I know she has another appointment as well. I know this day is convenient in some ways, but inconvenient in
Yes,
others.
yes.
But thankfully, we've taken the votes we need to take for today.
Mr. Vice Chair,
Yes.
before you leave, though, we do have one matter that, well, it can't be added until Monday, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday. So we should be fine. No problem.
What item was that?
227?
Yeah.
Resolution 227?
Yes, yeah,
Can't be added.
227.
We have one to
to be
delete it.
added Monday.
Monday.
Okay.
We have one to delete. We can't do that until Monday either.
The
Right.
resolution?
Barbara's?
Yeah. I don't know why we couldn't delete that one.
We can do that now?
226.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know we don't normally do that, but this is a.
Right, it can be done. I think we usually try to do it on the meeting day so that it's in the minutes and we know what happened to it.
If it was a piece of legislation that,
Was
Are we-
consequential.
But we're still in, I mean, if it's appropriate now, we might as well take that up. Yeah, but, what number is that?
226.
226.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to remove
Second.
226 from the agenda. Oh, 220, tell me the right number again.
226 too. That's fine.
226.
226, resolution 226. Thank you, Jeff. Tell you, A and B work together, don't they?
Wait
Mr.
now,
Everson, Ms. McCullough, and
Yeah, there you go.
Mr. Webb. Thank you.
Now, is there anything
Unanimous
else?
vote to remove that item from the agenda, Mr. Chairman.
okay.
Is there anything else we need to stay for today?
And now, do we need to,
what was the
do
question?
we need to add?
We
No,
can't
we can add that till Monday.
Can't add that
Okay.
until Monday.
So we're good. Okay, so now we're back to adding items to the agenda, public comment, confirmations, and appointments.
Yes.
Okay. Over to you, Mike. Thank you. Thanks.
Mr. Sibley, we do have one item showing on our agenda to add to the legislation. Do you want to just briefly say what that's about?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. It's Resolution 227. It's a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Louisiana Economic Development Corporation and Module Edge Solutions, LLC, in connection with the award of Economic Development Award Program funds. I can ask Ms. Scott to give more details, but basically this involves what we refer to as the MBI site, the old Beard site out in South Shreveport. Module Edge Solutions, which has taken over that operation, has an agreement with the state that will really enhance their operations out there. That involves some funding coming under the EDAP program. What this legislation does is allows the mayor to execute on behalf of the city the agreement with the state Module Edge so that project can move forward.
But you can't change.
And if you like, Ms. Scott can come forward and give a few more details on it.
We'll just hold that till Monday.
That's fine,
Everybody's
Mr.
here.
Chairman.
And I did see, I think day before yesterday, I drove by and they're already putting up new signage. That's
So modular X as opposed to MBI.
Yes,
Which is a good sign.
that is always a good sign. A new sign is a good sign.
It's a good sign.
All right, public comments. Mr. Davis has spoken. And Sosha, did you want to speak on the Lake Street legislation today or hold off till Monday?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Council members, you should have a copy of proposed amended ordinance that should be coming to you all. There may be a final version with some additional changes that may be coming from Terry, but for you all's review.
Okay, perfect.
But two very good constructive meetings.
Great. All right, we have no confirmations or appointments today. Mr. Sibley, I'll turn it over to you to run through the legislation.
Yes, sir. In this section, there are no items under the consent agenda. Under Section 9, regular agenda legislation resolutions on second reading and final passage, or which will require only one reading. Resolution 212 authorizes the mayor to execute a donation agreement between the city of Shreveport and the parish of Caddo for the private water main extensions and related facilities to serve Maggie Lane. Resolution 213 authorizes the Shreveport Police Department to accept a donation of $14,500 from the Shreveport Police K-9 Citizen Support Group for the purchase of a new police dog. Resolution 214 amends the pay plan for the general classified employees to provide a one-time lump sum pay increase and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. Resolution 217 commemorates the life and accomplishments of Preston Edwards, a native of Shreveport, educator, and former City of Shreveport Public Assembly and Recreation employee. Resolution 218 authorizes the mayor to dedicate the 7700 block of Red Fox Circle in honor of Mr. James Donald Moore. Resolution 219 suspends certain provisions of Chapter 10 and Chapter 106 relative to alcoholic beverages on February 15, 2015, relative to dispensing, sale, and/or consumption of alcoholic beverages at 4041 Fern Avenue for Maryland's Place Mardi Gras celebration. Resolution 220 declares the city's interest in certain adjudicated properties as surplus regarding Districts A and B. Resolution 221 declares the city's interest in certain adjudicated properties as surplus. This is regarding Districts A, B, F, and G. Resolution 222 declares the intention of the City of Shreveport to proceed with the issuance of not to exceed $76 million street improvement bonds in one or more series for the purpose of financing the cost of constructing, paving, and improving public streets in the city, including utilities relocation and incidental sewer and drainage work required thereby. Make an application to the Louisiana State Bond Commission for approval of such bonds and otherwise providing with respect thereto. And Resolution 226 was just removed.
Any discussion or questions?
Mr. Chairman, on Resolution 214, is Terry in here?
Yeah, she just stepped out.
We're going to ask that before we take up 214 tomorrow, we would remove Resolution 52 from the table. That's the resolution that has to do with the pay plan for city employees. It will replace, and if it is adopted, then we will ask you to remove 214.
And Terry's back. Art, did you need that?
Terry, I was just saying that when we get to 214 tomorrow, before we take that up, we're going to ask that they remove Resolution 52 from the table and take it up, and then if it's adopted, we'll ask that 214 be removed. These concerning the pay plan for city employees.
All right.
Is that correct?
Is that a question or a statement?
Huh?
Is that a question or a statement?
You want a confirmation?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
And also associated with that resolution, and I was out of town at our last Tuesday meeting. Did we discuss or get any clarification about paying just general fund employees out of the general fund and paying the other employees out of their resident funds?
You know, just to talk about all of that, what is proposed now is that we will use Mr. Webb's ordinances, and that resolution was also the one and then we will amend those. A part of the amendment is that for water and sewer, they will pay for their own raises, and for
Airport,
they will pay for their own. Everybody else will come in. The thing that was added is that the MPC will now be included in the general fund along with the other
retained risk. Retained risk.
Retained risk.
Right. But neither of those can be voted on until the next meeting.
Okay. The other question I had, and just because
But the general fund part will be voted on.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
But not the other one.
The other question I had, just because I've received a number of phone calls about it, is I know we had talked about directors and appointed employees. And I know that varies by department, where there's some appointees who don't necessarily make anything close to
Like
a
the
director's salary.
Correct.
Have we worked
Well,
around that?
I think that as a result of the conversations that we had at the departmental budget meeting, everybody is included. Everybody's included.
What, now, be clear about everybody.
All of the employees except fire and police.
That didn't include elected, does it?
No.
All right. So I just want to make sure that's clear.
We still have to save our pennies under the couch.
And department heads?
And apparently, yeah, they were left in.
Okay.
There was some talk about taking department heads out, but apparently there's no amendment to do that.
Well, I won't play screw.
Everybody except fire, civil service employees, police, civil service employees, and public officials are not included.
Okay. Good deal. Any other discussion?
That means Art's taking the council out to lunch.
Maybe dinner.
Maybe
Dinner.
Section B, Mr. Corbin.
Yes, sir.
Section B.
And to be clear, lump sum as opposed to a raise. I think that was it.
Section B is introduction of resolutions not to be adopted prior to December 9th, 2014. Resolution 223 authorizes the mayor to sign an engagement letter and agreement between the city of Shreveport and BKD LLP for an external audit of the city of Shreveport for fiscal year January 1, 2014 through December 31, 2014. Resolution 224 authorizes the mayor to execute a signal maintenance agreement and a mowing and litter pickup agreement with the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development. Resolution 225 authorizes the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement with the city of Shreveport and Hope for the Homeless and to otherwise provide with respect thereto.
And also the resolution that was added, 227.
Correct. And do I need to read 227 again? Okay,
You're good.
Thank
Any
you,
questions?
Chairman.
All right. Introduction of ordinances.
This is introduction of ordinances not to be adopted prior to December 9, 2014. Number 157, declares the city's interest in certain vacant lots as surplus and our intention to donate certain vacant lots acquired by community development for Phase 3 of Concordia Place development to Habitat for Humanity of Northwest Louisiana. This matter is not to be adopted prior to December 22nd, 2014. Ordinance 158 amends the 2014 retained risk fund budget. This is regarding the lump sum payment for the employees that are paid out of that fund. Ordinance 159 amends the 2014 Metropolitan Planning Commission fund budget, as Mr. Thompson just discussed. Ordinance 160 is zoning matter C6214. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances by rezoning property located on the northwest corner of Ellaby Road and East Florida or Lucas Road, Shreveport, Caddo Parish, Louisiana, changed from RA, Residence Agriculture District, to B2, Neighborhood Business District Planned Unit Development. Ordinance 161 is zoning matter C7914. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances by rezoning property located on the south side of East 70th Street, 650 feet east of East Kings Highway, Shreveport, Caddo Parish, Louisiana, from B3 Community Business District to B3E Community Business Extended Use District for ice cream manufacture and distribution with site plan approval. Ordinance 162 is zoning matter C8514. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 106 by rezoning property located on the north side of James Street, 170 feet east of Velva, Shreveport, Caddo Parish, Louisiana, changed from R2 Suburban Multifamily Residence District to B3 Community Business District with site plan approval.
Any questions or discussion? If not, I would just ask you to read the backup on 160, just as a good education in how this process should work and the give and take of new development. Mr. Sibley, let's proceed with ordinances on second reading.
Ordinance 19 amends the 2014 Water and Sewerage Fund budget, appropriating the funds authorized therein. Ordinance 20 amends the 2014 Community Development Special Revenue Fund budget, appropriating the funds therein. Both these matters have amendments, and both these matters involve the lump sum payment. Ordinance 21 amends the 2014 Airport Enterprise Fund budget. Again, the lump sum payment, there is an amendment. Ordinance 22 amends the 2014 Golf Enterprise Fund budget. There is an amendment there. That's also the lump sum payment. Ordinance 24 amends the 2014 General Fund budget, appropriating the funds authorized therein. There is an amendment. That's the General Fund lump sum legislation. Ordinance 98 authorizes the city to close and restrict vehicular access to Lake Street from Commerce Street to the Skyport Center. This matter was previously postponed and pursuant to a public hearing. Ordinance 135 is zoning matter C6414, an ordinance amending Chapter 106 by rezoning property located on the south side of West 79th Street, 300 feet east of Linwood Avenue, Shreveport, Caddo Parish, Louisiana, from R1D, Urban One Family Residence District, to B1, Buffer Business District with MPC and Planned Building Group approval for a residence and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. This matter was also previously postponed.
On ordinance number 98, there is an amendment. That was the one the mayor was talking about.
Okay.
So,
Has it been posted?
It's just not on the electronic agenda yet.
okay, we have it, and it will be on there.
These are ordinances on second reading and final passage not to be adopted prior to December 9, 2014. Ordinance 138 amends the 2014 Community Development Special Revenue Fund budget. Ordinance 139 amends the 2014 General Fund budget. Ordinance 140 amends the 2014 Airports Enterprise Fund budget. Ordinance 141 amends the 2014 Golf Enterprise Fund budget. Ordinance 142 amends the 2014 budget for Water and Sewerage Enterprise Fund. Ordinance 143 amends the 2014 Riverfront Development Fund budget. Ordinance 144 amends the 2014 General Fund budget.
Mr. Sibley,
Yes, sir.
if the other budget amendments are passed, I mean, the ones with the lump sum, we'll ask that you remove 144, 145, 146, and 147, and 149 from the agenda.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
148, I believe it will stay on. I think it was,
Correct.
we'll need that one to stay on.
That one would need to stay on. Correct. Ordinance 150, I believe that's where we are. Ordinance 150 amends the 2014 General Fund budget. This is regarding HR, legal, and IT. Ordinance 151 closes and abandons a sidewalk dedication in the School Park subdivision in Section 35, Township 18, Range 14 West, and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. Ordinance 152 closes and abandons Pennock Street and an adjacent diagonal alley between Hearn Avenue and Missouri Avenue in the Queensboro Annex in Section 10, Township 17, Range 14 West. Ordinance 153 closes and abandons the alley in the 2700 block of James Avenue between Greenwood Road and James Avenue in the Bel Air subdivision in Section 10. Ordinance 154 accepts a bid for the right and privilege of placing and maintaining bus benches with advertising on the public right-of-way, granting that right and privilege and otherwise providing with respect thereto. And Ordinance 156 is an ordinance to amend Chapter 106 relative to planned unit developments and planned building groups. I believe that's what Mr. Sweeney discussed earlier in the meeting. And that's all the scheduled legislation, Ms. Corey.
Do we do that annually on that 154, the bus benches?
No, sir. That's actually the old contract expired. They did RFPs for a new contract, and this is the result of that RFP.
How long was the old contract?
3 years, 2 years? Since
I was gonna say, I've never seen it come up before, and that was I was wondering why all of a sudden we were doing a bid, so.
You guys want to come up and offer some?
And it just shows, Mr. Webb, what happens when you go out and see what the market, what else is out there. They actually got a much better deal.
It's increased tremendously.
Yes, sir.
The advertising's big now.
And I see they are increasing the number of buses with wraps on them as well.
Yeah. So I know in the past they've been $50 a month. Is that gonna change, or the lady that actually owns the one that had the contract, I guess, in the past?
On the old bus bench contract? Yeah. Let Mr. Bright speak to that.
Alan Bright, Assistant General Manager at Sportran. Go Graphics is recommending that they will charge between $39 and $195 per bench. They have a graduated rate system based on the location of the bench. Currently, all benches are charged out at the same rate. Go Graphics believes there are premium locations that would attract premium revenue, and we'll get a portion of that revenue and expect that we can double or triple what we're making now in revenue.
Wow. Okay.
And I appreciate you sending me the backup that I'd requested on the bids. I see that it was certainly close between the existing company and the new company here. My only concern is, other than the name of the new company, I can't seem to find a Shreveport connection. So,
no, sir. They're a New Orleans-based firm, and they registered an entity, Go Graphics of Shreveport. They have bus bench contracts in New Orleans, Kenner, Jefferson Parish, St. Bernard. They are not a local firm. We received a total of 5 bids, 3 from local firms, 1 from Go Graphics and 1 from Florida, I believe. iLevel has been responsive. When we've had damage at benches, they've responded to it. The shortfall in their proposal, the benches that they proposed, the ones that are out there currently, are fairly run down. They're old. Go Graphics is proposing to install benches on concrete pads. So there'll be a concrete pad installed on every bench, which will give a cleaner appearance. It's a better looking bench, in our opinion, and the revenue would be better.
Was the bench design part of the bid process? Were you spec'd what kind of bench you wanted, or?
We required that they submit the bench design, and that was part of the evaluation criteria.
I would just feel a little more comfortable if I knew there was a Shreveport connection to the company, other than Shreveport in the name.
Yeah.
And hope that we will encourage them to develop something up here.
And we've talked to them for the maintenance. They'll be subcontracting out to a Shreveport-based firm. They've committed to use a fair share vendor, and we'll work to enforce that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Bright.
Any other questions? If not, Mr. Thompson has already told us about a couple of tabled legislation items that will be coming off, most likely, or coming off the table. Is there anything else that anybody plans on bringing off the table?
And Mr. Corbin, let me make one correction. I was just providing information that I forgot. On ordinance 148 that we just talked about, which involves the downtown entertainment district, that has been removed because it was determined that the employee there's one employee did not meet the probationary period. So we'll need to remove ordinance 148 also on the vote.
Perfect. And we have budget ordinances that we will take up in December. We've gone through property standards appeals. We have no ABO or MPC appeals, no taxi appeals. Any reports from officers, boards, or committees today? Not here. We don't even have a clerk, so we can't have a clerk's report. So if there's nothing else, please take note who is manning the gavel and what time it is. This meeting is adjourned. Have a good weekend.